being able to be of significant help, especially.
That makes everybody feel good.
Huh?
That makes everybody feel good, I think. I don't know. I don't know. What do you want to eat here? Do you want to? I mean, I would like to do more. But if you want to, if we do that, I'm worried that like we'll do that and it'll take forever and whatever. If we do it here, we'll be a little quicker. But I don't know. What would? There's also the salad from like yesterday and the.
Oh, I think she has some fresh. From last night.
Yeah. I can. Oh, whatever. It's fine. That's true.
Communicative?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? I wrote her a little note because she didn't, or no, I just didn't do that. I left a message on her phone because she didn't call, and I said, Adam's with me, has been for a couple of days, but he's in good shape.
Yeah, I think she's okay. I think she's just busy.
And she wrote me a little note saying, oh yeah, Adam's in touch with me.
Hey, critic, eh? Well, I don't know. I mean, this is what happens when you don't actually quit. You know?
The stuff that's in the basket that has type on it, do you want it in the basket? The typed stuff that's in the basket, is that being thrown out?
Yeah, it can be. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
It's just. All right. Well, oh, sorry. All right. Well, we're back.
We're back together again.
Together again at last. Again.
I don't know whether I push this out of range. So she's going to come tomorrow and take me to I have my psychiatrist, my monthly psychiatrist meeting tomorrow morning.
Monthly psychiatrist. Well, you're sitting a bit far away again. I think we got to get you back into the mix.
All right, wait.
Into the mix. Sorry. We'll push this actually more forward. Actually, if you wouldn't mind, could we go more forward? There? Actually, I'll just move the mic. I'll move the mic. All right. Oh my God! What have I knocked over?
Oh, look at how that ended just beautifully.
That's great. Well, let's just leave it then. Some things are better left alone.
Right.
Graves, rabid poultry,
Rabid poultry.
Snickers bars past their expiration date.
Anything past its expiration date.
Some
and that
things-
goes with people.
Let's. Can we talk about death?
Well, sure.
That's quite agreeable. Good old Thanatos.
Thanatos.
Thanos.
Hmm?
We're talking about. You tell me what June was saying to you earlier.
Before?
Well, you were telling me something that that your caretaker was saying when she heard the phone call from that, and when she'd heard about that phone call with the doctor.
Had just bad test results
Right.
that wasn't very promising, but I mean they didn't have time date on it. Nevertheless, she said, when
A time date, like
she said when you let's use the word passing. When you've passed,
what she say to you? Wait,
I'll see to everything. Don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about any of that. I'll see to all this stuff. I think she meant things that needed doing around, calls that needed making.
Did she respond as if you were like telling her you'd be out for the weekend, essentially, like telling you?
No, she just no. She thought that. She apparently interpreted my report to her as a death knell, and which it could be, but so could it be any day when you're 94. You don't know. In fact, when you're younger.
That's true.
And so, I mean, you don't know the car's going to come around a corner and hit you or not.
Does that make you more? Does that make you less risk averse now, in any way?
Well, I think it would really be closing the barn door after, well, whoever leaves it, but whatever leaves it. But my immediate thought was, well, I better cut out the butter and go back to oleo, that sort of stuff. But then I thought, how much difference is that going to make in the small time there is whether I had this or not, whether I had symptoms of anything or not?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? I think that the cholesterol thing is, a long thing over your life, and probably, I mean, some people, I can't complain. I'm 94, for God's sakes, eating quite, comfortably, although watching some things all the time.
most of the time, and going on sprees and forgetting about it. But so would it make me? I don't know. I'd ask the doctor whether changing my diet. I think I would ask the doctor when I see him whether it would make any difference if I changed my diet at this point. And I imagine that he would say, just do what you do normally.
You asked the doctor on the phone yesterday. I remember you said, you said like, is there a time? I think you said, is there a life expectancy?
No, I didn't. What I was saying was there a hurry to make the appointment?
Oh, I thought you were really asking very matter of factly. You were saying, well,
No,
so
she
what's
said-
what do you mean?
No, she was saying, well, we'll set up an appointment. And I said, well, is there what I meant
time
was
frame for the
there,
appointment.
do I need to do this as fast as I can, or
Was that something that but is it something is that a question that you would ask? Is that a question that
I
you
would
care to ask?
what I would ask him is, I mean, how fast such a thing would tend to progress. I mean, that's 4/5 of the lifetime of that. I mean, 80% isn't that 4/5?
Yeah, but you don't know if that's been 1% of an artery corroding, like 1% a year.
Yeah, that's
So who knows?
1% a year.
Since you were 14.
Yeah,
Who knows?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
right?
what
Yeah,
I'm.
nobody,
That's.
I mean,
well,
somebody knows.
That's what Yeah, and I don't
go
know.
to
If
school for that.
you could go to 99, and then that's you're left with 1%.
No, remember, you
Is that-
started when you were 14. You'd make it to 113.
Well, we don't know when we started.
I
you
know,
see.
but
Yeah,
in my
right. No, I
completely
haven't.
scientifically
but I
accurate-
am paying. I am thinking about this artery a little bit more than I want to, because I mean, I quite honestly, I know something soon will take me. What did she say? Pass will make me pass, but that doesn't really concern me. Because it happens to everybody. See, if it was just me, picked out from all of humanity to suffer death and dying, I would be pretty pissed. But it turns out everybody has this all in their future. And so it from that standpoint, it just doesn't disturb me. And I have had occasion to, I see
June is here with
June
sandwiches.
is here with sandwiches. Hello, love. You carried it all
And
the
a
way
short
in
break.
here.
We'll be back,
Come in.
maybe?
Come in. Thank you. Have you been standing there long? We have
Thank you
two,
so much.
two kinds of sandwiches.
2 kinds of sandwiches.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, do you still want the other salad, or
No,
will
this is
this will
perfect.
be fine?
This is
fine.
great.
I didn't give you very much.
This is great. This is
Do you want more?
No. This is amazing. Thank you.
Okay,
That's awesome.
fine.
It
Thanks.
was just kind of a dressing on the side.
Thank you,
Felice,
dear.
I didn't get what kind of tea you wanted. Ice
Oh,
or,
would you like iced tea, or
or
would you
hot.
like a fruit juice?
The iced
or
tea is,
coffee?
iced tea is fine.
What would you like to drink?
Something
honestly,
cold.
anything.
I would like to have some iced tea.
I'll have what she's having.
That's a funny line from a movie.
That's funny. That's a line from life.
Yes, right.
No
People have been saying that, I think, since the garden. I think that was what
Yes,
that was
that
what
Adam-
Adam said.
Adam
He said his wife was coming back from the market, and he said, "I'll have what he's having," and there was a voice from above that was like, "Bad choice." Nope. No. And they're like, "Ah, you blew it." That was the one time you're not supposed to say that.
And the funny version was the Harry Met Sally movie, right?
Right.
When
Where
the girl was having an orgasm in the delicatessen.
Yes, I think that
And
was.
the elder woman says,
I'll have what she's having. Great.
Okay.
Oh, so
Iced
what would
tea.
you like? Iced tea for you?
Yeah,
I'll
that's
have
great.
iced tea too.
Right, that's what you're telling
right.
me, right? I'll
You
be
just
back
said
in
I'll
with
have what
it.
he's having, but I said I'll have what she's having. So we're caught in a circle of.
You have to choose.
I'm bringing iced tea.
Iced tea, we got it. You could squeeze a little lemon in it if you find any.
I bought Meyer lemons, so I'd be
Good.
happy to do that.
Good. Thank you.
Well,
Not bad.
that was great.
We've got roast beef on one, but I couldn't make up my mind what we should have. So
Even better.
Should we-
I'm glad. I like that. Food is good.
yeah,
You know,
you could do worse than be
eating.
eating. You could be worse than be marooned in this place, and that's what I am. I'm marooned on a desert island here, pretty much. And no, I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of being sick. I wouldn't like being sick.
No. So
If I got a stroke, for example, I would hope to die.
well, I feel the same way, definitely. I've always said that. You know, I remember like always watching any kind of action movie or like movie with, you know, battles in it. I hated seeing people get their arms and legs chopped off.
That's just what I was thinking when you were saying that.
I hated that because I felt really bad, and I know that happens to people, and people respond with such resilience, and that is where I think I'm the most cowardly. Where I go, I really don't want that to happen. And then you see the people that get injured like that, and in so many movies, those people will get killed later, or soon, because they know that we go like, oh well, it's not quite clean. It's not we're not sure what do we feel good that they survived or bad that they're injured.
What's the name of the guy, you know, who was very famous? Was he Tarzan, or you know who I mean, good looking?
Tarzan was famous.
He lost his.
Christopher Reeves.
Yeah,
Was paralyzed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. She says something like that. I think I would go on a food strike and have them, you know, people would have them give me morphine, and that's what they do in the hospice here. You know, that's where Herbert ended up, in the hospice. And I mean, they stop your medication. You can eat what you want or drink what you want, but pretty soon you don't want anything. And they're giving you morphine for your pain or discomfort. And then you just you die without being really sick, you know, I mean, feeling miserable.
When you watch people in those situations, do you think people are? I don't know how are people in that situation?
Herbert was, well, you see, the morphine kind of does a little bit of
Sure.
what any herb does for you.
Yeah.
Drug does for you. And then he was comfortable.
Yeah. It's great roast beef.
But, you know, one of the things that's in my favor is that once I had some surgery, and oh, thank you, love. Yeah, that's all right. You can do that. Whatever you were. Ooh, this one wants to tip over for some reason. Thank you. We're thanking you. Thank you. Give yourself some. These sandwiches are delicious, June. And I had cardiac collapse while I was on the table. No heartbeat. I had to be brought back from
When?
death.
When?
Oh, half a dozen years ago or so.
What? No one told me that.
I was. I really don't know exactly when. But, well, I tell you, it's more than half a dozen years ago because we were using the Encinitas hospital. And,
It was in Del Mar when you were in Del Mar.
yeah, it was Del Mar.
Oh, it was a long time ago then. Mm-hmm. It was more than a dozen years ago then.
Probably.
So,
And Herbert was still with us, so it's longer than I think.
yeah.
But in that experience, made me unafraid of dying. Because it didn't hurt, wasn't anything. I didn't remember anything. People asked me, did you see, what did you experience? Because there's some things that, you're supposed to, in common experience. If it's near death. This wasn't near death. This was death. And I was under anesthesia, so I think that changed the...
You were under anesthesia and then your heart stopped. Well, that happens, but it's so dangerous. Putting people under anesthesia is often really...
Well, it's also...
Was there something that the hospital did wrong? Or that was just...
did they do wrong? I mean, they not only that, but they took out the wrong thing.
What? They took out the wrong thing?
I mean, we could be very rich if we were litigious.
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 What? And you really didn't have anything in your mind that was like, I am really upset at you for this. That made you want to sue.
No, but I know that they were worried. The doctor was worried because she was a GYN doctor, and sweet, honestly, nice person. She said to me when I went to see her after the surgery, she said, I have to tell you, my insurance expires in 3 months. Meaning, if you're going to sue me,
Please do it right now.
do it now.
You'd think they'd at least offer you some sort of punch card for like 3 free operations or something.
Something. And as a matter of fact, when I had to have the operation done right, I had to pay for it all over again.
No kidding. That's like when you get food poisoning at a restaurant and...
Don't tell me they offer you free food.
Yeah, they say, hey, you want to come back again? You're like, no, that's why.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, it sort of would have been for the best, maybe. That's crazy.
But it is amazing what that experience did for me. I mean, really, not just the way most people are. Do they fear death? They fear. I mean, that's a big change for planets,
Could be.
And I think most people have a certain fear, I guess, of death. I mean, at some time, I've been depressed enough so that I kind of wish that they hadn't been able to, but the way I feel now, things are nice, especially now, and I would, I'd like to have, there's nothing the matter with being 94 if you can move around and eat and everything. You can't do all the things you did when you were young, but
You're still stick.
yeah, and then you can be depressed and stuff if you're young, too, so, You know,
There's still
there's
steak
nothing-
for everyone.
Right. So, but I mean, I realize I'm 94. So probably death is more imminent for what any reason, you know, whether or not I had this 80% blockage, you know? So I don't know how, I mean, what I expect to happen with the doctor. Does this upset you? Why not?
I mean, in some ways, it upsets me as much as it upsets you because I want to
Keep
understand
having a grandma.
for sure, and I also want to understand what you understand, and so it doesn't help. It's like when somebody gets offended on someone else's behalf, where somebody tells you like.
You shouldn't have done that, like Laura.
Right, like somebody, well, yeah, or somebody, you know, comes up to me and they go, hey, or you know, I'm in a group and somebody says something, and one other person, you know, goes, hey, you know, that's offensive to Jews, and I'm going like, not to me. So, hey, you know, you can be offended for yourself, you can be offended for, you know, pretty much just you, I guess. But don't be offended for me. It doesn't do anybody any good. And so I don't think there's much of a reason for me to be scared or anxious or sad on your behalf, or because of you, or with anything that has to do with you. If you're beyond the degree that you are, that it affects me, yeah, but like a New Orleans funeral, you know, they're crying on the way there and they're celebrating on the way back, and because why fight the things that you can't change, you know? So we do our best until we can't change it, and then you deal with that as happily as you can. I think that it gets way trickier when you don't know when you've done your best. That's what's hard for me, is when you don't know if you've done all that you can do with anything, you know. Mm-hmm. Then you're like, well, do I try and be happy about it, or do I keep struggling, you know? Mm-hmm. But until that point, you know, New Orleans funeral rules for everything. Great coleslaw.
You eat twice as fast as I do.
More than twice as fast, apparently.
You know who eats the fastest of anybody I ever saw in my life?
My brother?
Your mother.
My mother. Really?
I think she got that way when she went to college. She hardly swallows what's in her mouth before the spoon or fork is back full.
Maybe it's a different fork. Maybe you don't notice that she's actually eating with two forks rotating.
No, but whatever. But she eats so fast. I don't see how. I mean, it really is. It's like a.
I don't know. Maybe
Notice.
I don't see. I think it's people in different. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, that's not a criticism. Oh, it could be.
Yeah,
But, I mean, it's an observation.
sure.
Mm.
No.
Oh, well, this is not great valuable shirt, although it is handmade by Venus Sobin. She made the blocks.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It has a sort of like kind of Native American sort of theme.
Yeah, it's
sort of
interesting. I mean,
totemic.
every one of these is put on here by hand, you know?
With a wood block.
The wood blocks.
That's
She did
cool.
them all. And they made such big thing. Her husband was, you remember him, Dr. Sobin?
No.
He was, he was very rigid. He made her incorporate and publish that she was in business. I mean, just doing this in her basement on her own press, you know.
Oh, and he made her turn it into
Yeah.
like a very, and she was
This-
like, why?
It makes you really invest in this, you know, to become a corporation, and then she's down there making these things, and then she sells a few.
I understand that impulse where it's like, well, I'm doing it, so if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, you know, whole hog.
Yeah, but she wasn't interested in incorporating. She was just
Right, I
interested
know.
in making things.
But right, you shouldn't do that with things where you're like, no, this really is supposed to be a little thing, not.
Yeah. So in the end, she ended up giving them away to her friends, and she gave me two, and she gave Nan one, and Nan may have actually bought one, and you know, friends did come and buy them from her, a few. And then I suppose the firm ended up having to file for bankruptcy.
You know, I think, I don't know how common it is where people have experiences, they have some moment in their life where something happened, and for a split second, or for slightly longer than a split second, oh, I don't know. The sound, maybe we should eat. The sounds of chewing are funny to a point, but then after a point, it's like it's gonna be too much because I won't be able to get rid of it.
Oh, you mean?
Just eat.
Have we
Just
been-
eat. We'll talk. We'll bullshit.
Oh,
Just eat.
I'm sorry.
No, don't.
I forgot that we couldn't record while we chew.
Well, we can if you want that to be part of it, but if you don't, then
Well, I suppose I could say I'm just gonna have a little ham sandwich.
you're more than welcome to.
Pardon?
You're more than welcome to. Let's see.
That roast beef is better than ham, don't you think so?
Maybe, yeah, but I like that sort of pastrami style sandwich, like a Reuben. It's
Yes.
like dressed. It's like dressed up like a Reuben on rye with cheese and stuff.
Well, but you will be coming back, won't you?
Of course.
When do you think you might be coming back? Next month?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I would come back like as soon as I could. Really, I just.
But we can't keep you from. There are all these interviews now in New York. Who are you interviewing with, if I may ask?
I'm not interviewing. I'm just going to visit Columbia's sociology program.
You're going to look up the dean who wrote to you.
I don't have to look up anything. They're inviting me there to come. They're trying
Yeah.
to get me to come now.
So you're making appointments to see them?
No, they're making all the appointments. They tried very hard to get the people that they admitted to come.
Oh well, that I understand. Oh, I see. So there
I'm
you
doing
have
nothing. I essentially am getting these emails from places like, oh, if you have any questions, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't care enough. I'll come. Like if I can make it to your weekend, I'll come to the weekend, but I don't care enough to actually.
The schools that you think that you might possibly go to for whatever reason. The scenery is gorgeous, the weather is good, or their course of study is well known for something that might attract you. Something. Try to go to those.
Lunch break. Lunch break. Eating lunch.
Are you going to have a
Lunch
ski this
break.
morning? To ski today? Snow?
You'll get there.
See?
You got it. You got it. Almost.
See ski?
You got. Oh.
Snow?
Nope.
See?
Nope.
Wave? Tide?
Yeah, yep.
Tide?
Yep. Almost. Almost there.
That's what that stuff is doing.
I don't think so.
Yes.
Don't you blame your arteries for your vocabulary. I've had just about enough of your
that.
excuses. What?
Unfortunately, it's true. It's the lack of blood to certain areas of the head that puts it in that state where you forget water ski.
Almost.
No. Surfing.
Yeah. No, I don't know if I'm gonna go. We'll see. We'll see where we're at in a little bit. No. Lunch break, eating some lunch. Lunch break, eating some lunch.
You gave her some laundry. Is that all you want washed?
Yeah, I didn't bring very much. I didn't bring very much. I just brought like a couple.
Oh,
things.
I see.
Let's make up a lunch.
Well, you know, that used to be what would send Herbert back to Wilkes-Barre when he used to come to visit me in the summer in Flushing when we were in college. He didn't have that many clothes. So when he ran out of underwear and shirts, had to go home.
You know, in his letters, I'm seeing there's quite a lot about laundry.
Oh, really?
I managed to do some laundry today. Oh, I did some laundry, but the friend...
Well, must be a big thing.
It was a big thing, you know, that you only have so many... He was like, I went to pick up my clothes from the French laundry, and, well, they didn't have it, and so I've been really set back, you know. I'm dealing with I'm dealing with all these socks now.
Yeah, I must be. I mean, he didn't, of course. Well, I guess I think laundry was something that got taken care of in the frat house.
This is at war.
Yeah, I know. So that he didn't really have the problem himself until he went to war.
Well, you know, we should be so lucky that we go to war and we're worried about dirty socks.
Yeah, that's right. Laundry.
Let's have a lunch break song. Lunch break, having some lunch. Lunch break, having some lunch. Lunch break, having some lunch. Ham sandwich time. Ham sandwich, eating a ham sandwich.
I hope I get to hear this when it's... I haven't heard any of it.
You will. Lunch break, having some lunch. Lunch break, having some lunch. Lunch break, having some lunch. Yeah, lunch break, having some lunch.
If you have this in your pocket or like and say you were stopped for some reason on the highway, would that be criminal?
Yeah, because I don't have a license. Yeah, because I don't have a license.
Well, what should you do about that? Where would you put
You
it?
just gotta hide it.
Where do you hide it?
Stash it up your butt.
Oh, God.
No, I don't think so. Actually, you just hide it and you hope. I mean, you can't really be searched for no reason. You just. I mean, I try not to keep stuff in the car really, but it's fine. I want to make
I
up.
used to have a cover for this.
it's
Maybe
fine.
it was a box.
It's okay. It's really fine. It'll be in the car and then it'll be out. Hey, wait! I want to make up a lunch break song. Keep those forks and maybe we can add those into the sounds of forks and then maybe we can have you chime in saying like ham sandwich, ham sandwich, ham sandwich.
Oh, something really intelligent like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, ham, bam, bam.
Lunch break, having some lunch.
Well,
Lunch
except for
break.
drinking, I'm through.
Having some lunch. Lunch break. No, well, I want to try and actually, I want to lay down a track. So pretend like you still are having lunch. But first, well, I'll just join in when it feels right. You know, with
Okay.
some forks and with saying things like ham sandwich, ham sandwich.
Okay. I don't get the tune, so I don't know how to go along with it.
You just say no, just,
Ham sandwich.
actually, you know, I really could record these things separately, but I like that we're doing it.
All right. There's lunch break music. That's the lunch break music.
Lunch break, having some lunch. Lunch break, having some lunch.
And that's the lemon for my iced tea.
Lunch break, having some lunch. Lunch break, having some lunch. Wait. Oh yeah, wait. I like the fork. Maybe we should do that without us talking, and then I'll just have you say some things, and I'll edit it in after.
Okay.
How about some like more natural fork sounds, like just like the regular eating sound?
Yum. That's my ham sandwich. Just about through with the coleslaw.
Yeah. Like one more. I just want one more. Like. Shit. Hold on. Shit.
Have a little of your iced tea.
Mm-hmm.
If the spoon's in the way, you can put it down here because I'm not using this plate anymore.
No, I like that. I'm just getting
Oh,
a
you
couple
like
of couple
that?
of sounds.
Oh. Oh, yeah, that's a nice sound. Ace.
Here, wait. Here, look.
Cool. You think that sound has a quality like cold?
Yeah.
Like that sound.
That sound is
ice,
that is the sound of cold.
Now, do we
Ice
think
cracking.
so because
We've been conditioned.
we make the connection, or I mean, if that was a sound that produced heat, would we get heat from it?
No, I think it's the connection. We hear like a fire cracking as a that's. I don't think that's an evolutionary thing. I think that is absolutely conditioned that we've seen these things. All right, let me just record some things.
Yeah. Nice.
Wait, don't say anything for just a second. Okay. Maybe a tiny puff.
All right. Oops. We're going off.
A solid foundation
Do you
on
know
which to
what?
build everything else, and that's the foundation for dumping out the ash.
So the fact that there probably isn't any wire in here, mesh in here.
It's not a problem.
Oh wait. It
No es
doesn't matter.
problema.
It isn't. Or so what should I take?
I think maybe the one that was made for you, that was a pick for you.
Just make me a little bit because I'm.
That's pretty good.
Do I? Oh yeah. See,
Break it up a
a
little.
lot of this doesn't burn, isn't that right?
No, it should really should.
Well, I
you
mean,
can
you
keep
take
kind of
this
lighting
piece
it.
I took out here. It's so hard. There's nothing to burn.
Oh, it everything burns. Everything burns.
I don't know, because that hard little bit I put up here didn't.
In time, everything burns.
Oh, that's how.
Is a rule of life. They say that everything that is brittle must crack. And everything that is blue must one day become a blueberry. Yeah, I'm with you.
That's what you do with nothing.
What? That's what?
I mean, that's what you can produce with no herb.
With no herb. That's right. And the question is, what is the good of that?
I love the smell.
Yeah. What is that? Sounds all right. This pipe is awesome. Makes you feel like the caterpillar. Makes you feel like the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland. Sort of sitting there on his toadstool.
Oh.
One pipe makes me larger. The other pipe makes you small.
What is that you're talking about?
Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, that is Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I can't live. Without the shield, do get much bigger sweet.
Just don't pull in quite so hard. Just pull it very lightly. Try and take in less and hold it longer. Do you know what I mean? Like take in just take a small. You can see the smoke coming up if you watch
I
it.
think I've already got that already.
You okay? Empty.
God, thank you.
There it is. Something on the bottom that appears to be.
Nothing in mine. I mean, it's not burning.
Yeah, no, it doesn't stay lit.
No.
It's not supposed to. I'm trying to.
Where do I really want this? Up in my head?
Yeah. Where do you want to feel it, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, where do I want to?
Yeah,
Where I
in your
breathe
cranium,
in? Do
yeah.
I want it to come down here?
Oh, where do you want it? Where
Well, this is where it goes. Wait.
No, you should. What you should do is you should take in a little puff, hold it, and you should be feeling that. Like it shouldn't go much further back than like your throat. You know, just take in a little and hold that.
In my mouth.
Yeah, in sort of your mouth throat area, and then you can breathe in through your nose. After you're holding it in your mouth, take a breath in through your nose.
Oh, that's what I.
That gets it to like circulate and saturate essentially.
Okay, I'll do that.
Madame, a light. Hold the pipe up for a moment, if you can. Yeah, hold it up as if you're. Oh, just all right. I'll give you a small light, and then try and breathe out some smoke. Damn it! I wasn't recording.
I think I may have had enough. Wouldn't want to spoil your party, but I don't know that I will be more sparkling after this.
Perhaps not. Hello. So,
No.
we shall continue forthwith. And fifth with.
No. And sixth with.
Well, you win. Well, I'd love to absolutely make up words. We could be sponsored by, today's word of the day is...
the sponsor for this program is...
the word bagnificent.
Bagnificent?
Bagnificent. It's
What do they sell?
No, it's a word. It means... this means... it's when you're looking for just the right bag for something. Like you need to pick up some groceries, and you need like a paper bag, or you're going on like a 4-day trip, and you need the right size bag, and you find just the right size bag in your closet. That's bagnificent.
I can see that. All right, I accept that.
Okay. What's today's word of the day?
Well, let's see. I don't know that I am going to be very creative at this moment. More like to curl up and go sleep.
That really got you, huh?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sort of in that natural state.
No, I think this hits you pretty quick, I think. And for me, I don't know why it's not. Today is brought to you by the word henceforth word.
Henceforth word is good.
Henceforth word. If you think henceforth makes you sound intelligent, you'll think henceforth word makes you sound twice as intelligent. Henceforth word.
That's a very good word. You should really write that down. There's no reason. Now, when they...
I've been saying henceforth word since I was a boy.
Have you really? And
Henceforth word and furthermoreth word.
Oh, well. But...
And henceforthly.
But fourth word. For is really almost a word like forward.
Right.
And so you kind of accept that word. That's
Why?
a good word.
Why wouldn't you? Henceforth word.
And it's a kind of word that when they made the Encyclopedia Britannica, they probably received words like that. And then eventually they weeded them if they didn't get enough that were the same word.
No, it's been an uphill climb for henceforth word to make it as part of the legitimate bullshit word society.
I should think.
Henceforth word. Yeah. Haven't you had enough bullshit today? Try henceforth word.
Yes, I see. I see. Right.
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 Right. Well, in that case,
Yeah.
well, Nigel, I feel like there are people Brits Brits maybe that sound you make when you're talking as you're breathing out
Yeah.
smoke or a breath that you've just held, and you go "Ugh," like that voice. That's like
That's a British sound.
well, that's the sound that comes out. I think everybody that makes that sound should be called Nigel.
Oh,
That's what I was gonna
but
say.
you have to wait till they talk until you can name them.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long.
You have to have a temporary name for it.
And then they go, well, and you're like, Nigel, so good to
Yeah.
see you again.
Yeah.
Well, it's just
Not all awful.
Nigel Farns Bottom talking nonsense, and blah blah and Florgan. Something like that. Nigel. Well, you got any word? You got any great words?
Not yet. Not yet. I don't. As I said, I think we may have stepped on my creative button.
So tell me more. Oh, do you know? So I think maybe a lot of people have moments where they've had some moment where for some period of time, a split second, maybe a little bit longer, they've imagined that they were going to die.
Oh.
Something happened, you trip when you're standing near a ledge and your brain goes, holy shit, you're about to fall off this ledge. And but before you know that your foot's still on solid ground, there's a part of you that goes, whoops. Like,
Well, so are you asking me, did I have that experience?
well, have you had that?
Well, lots of times when you think you're going to slip or something.
Yeah,
you
but most of the
don't.
time when you're going to slip, your brain does know that if you did slip, you wouldn't die.
Oh, I
but
see.
there's
So you think
some-
it's a death thing.
Yeah, there's some places where your brain actually thinks before you have a time to say it's not going to happen that, hey man, like you're in trouble.
Well, I've never had this thing as an anxiety.
No, as a real thing. You slip
Or
like
as
you're
a
walking by the cliffs, by the
No,
bluffs, and
I would never have been within 10 feet of the cliffs in the first place.
well, I had a sort of near death story.
You had a what?
I have a kind of near death story.
Well, let's hear that. Let's hear it. An ear death? What is it?
A near
Near
death.
death? Let's have it.
You sound sharp. I'm gonna close.
What's your near death story?
Well, so I get altitude sick.
I know. So you have a pill for that, don't you?
Yeah, I have this magical pill for it. Now I do. Actually, I did then. So I was maybe 16, and I was going skiing with my friend and his dad and my dad, and I was taking my miracle altitude sickness pills. Normally most people are fine at 10,000 feet, at 12,000 feet, and I start getting, if I've been at 6,000 or 7,000 feet for a few hours, I'm in trouble, unless I've got the miracle thing. And we're going skiing in Colorado, and it was, 13,000, 14,000 feet up. Everybody else is fine, but they feel a little altitude strain, and I just got to take these pills. My doctor at the time said, okay, you're gonna take your regular stuff that you take for altitude, and here's some steroids to take along with that, which is this preemptive thing for headaches. Here are a few steroids to take as well. It's just for headaches, so that you don't get headaches. And you're supposed to take a few, and then take less, and then take less, and then take a sort of constant small amount of them. And so we're skiing, and we go up. We take the highest chairlift in America. And it goes up to about 14,500 feet, and then you walk up from there a little bit further to get to these virgin slopes with perfect snow. But it was about 60 degrees below zero with 50
serious?
mile an hour winds. They said with wind chill it was 100 degrees below zero.
Ooh.
But it felt okay, except that your goggles would freeze from the inside.
Yeah.
So I took these, I couldn't see, and I would have to take these goggles off and try and wipe them, but as soon as the air touched your face, it burned.
Ooh.
And my dad kind of skied down, my friend skied down, and I was kind of carving this wide, looping path and, through this amazing snow, and I was about to kind of, I turned down and, it started going pretty fast, and I just felt something in my heart. I felt my heart just felt like it just kind of exploded.
It hurt?
Really hurt. I stopped. I like doubled over and I couldn't stand up. So I was like bent over like an L on its head.
Ooh.
And I couldn't stand up and I couldn't move really. And I could feel my heart and it felt like it was beating at like 300 beats a minute. And I looked around and there's nobody there.
Did it have a regular beat to it, do you know, or was it sort of fluttering?
At that point, it sort of almost sounds like a tone. It's going so fast. It's like...
Oh, really?
It's like beep,
Oh. Because there's something called atrial fibrillation. I have that myself.
So,
Very lightly, but...
Well, it just sped up so fast, and I could feel it, and it felt so tense, and I thought, from any stories that I'd heard, I was like, this is what a heart attack feels like. I don't know what else to call it.
Mm-hmm. All right. And so, what happened?
I looked around, and everybody I knew was
down the hill.
Was down the hill, and it's this really massive expanse of treeless, open space, and there was nobody else above me either. Everybody that had come up with us and anybody I could see was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to fall over.
So why didn't you?
Because there was one part of me that went, if you fall over in the snow here, nobody can find you, you're done. It just knew if I fall over here in this massive bowl full of snow.
Oh, I'm going to cry.
No, but
I'm so
but
worried.
This is
Did you get out?
Well, hold on. I don't want to ruin the suspense here. This is the crazy thing. There's something in people that just goes, stop. You know better than to take a break now.
Yeah.
Just don't. And because I didn't do anything remotely special. I just looked around and I went, shit. There was a lazy part of me that was like, if my heart's gonna explode, I'm having a heart attack, I'd rather do it lying down.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a coat.
Right.
I don't feel cold anymore. And but it went, no, you can't do that because you'll be frozen and dead before anybody finds you.
Mm-hmm. You have a smart, intelligent inner.
But there's nothing smart about that. I think that's completely your eyes to your brain without any of your thinking getting in the way.
That's
it just goes,
right.
We figured it out, boys.
Yes.
You fucked.
Yeah.
Or keep moving.
Yeah.
That was a huge. So I kind of still bent over. I just kind of, as slowly as I could make myself go, went straight in a straight line down this pretty steep hill, barged into the ski patrol office, which is by the bottom of the chairlift, and just collapsed on the floor. And
No kidding. And who were you attended by?
By these ski patrollers. The silliest part about it is that they were sort of upset.
They didn't know what to do.
They were sort of upset with me for barging into their lodge.
Oh, no kidding.
But they gave me oxygen. I was fine. They took me to the hospital, where then my heartbeat dropped to 35 per minute on the way there.
It's a little slow.
Quite slow. And then I just they did all these tests. They couldn't figure out anything, honestly. And then they let me go. I went to eat some mac and cheese or something.
Was your father with you?
Yeah, by that point it was there. It was going to be our last day skiing. And
No, but I mean, did he come to the hospital?
Yeah,
Did he
of
know
course.
you were in the hospital and all?
And the crazy thing is that, you know, it was pretty certainly because I had taken these steroids that were prescribed as a preemptive thing for me, and I think I took too much. You're supposed to taper off, and I was like, well, it's working though, so why don't I stick with
Take
the
more.
dosage? No, stick with the dosage instead of tapering off. It's working, so why would I change it? And that's the kind of thing where you take like too many steroids like that. I mean, you take any kind of steroids and they have crazy effects. I had like I didn't need to eat anything. I had no appetite, and then when I got off them, I was absolutely insatiably hungry.
Oh, really? Do you know the names of any steroids? Because I just suddenly can't.
Well, a lot of things could be called like human growth hormone is a steroid, and all
It's
these.
a hormone.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess I'm not really sure what the exact definition of steroid is.
I mean, now I've forgotten specifics about categories. You know, I mean, let's say steroids. Usually, I'm able to say.
Those are like those are things that like essentially are supposed to give people higher functioning, like. Energy,
Like if they're going to race, they take.
Steroids are the kind of things for people that are juicing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This is what what Lance Armstrong was
Right, I got it now.
convinced of.
So we're not likely to be taking steroids. In
Oh,
our
absolutely
norm.
not. No. It's like this is the sort of like you're going to be at high altitude, and you can often get headaches from altitude.
So, are you careful always to see that you've got your stuff?
But it's
with
not.
you?
I wasn't supposed to take steroids. This was a complement to the thing
Right,
that I normally
but
take,
now,
which I do. Yeah, I do.
I'm talking about
I do
your
have-
next flight.
Yeah, I have that.
Will you remember?
Usually.
How many do you take? More than one when you're in a plane?
It actually is. What's so amazing about it is like you don't actually. It doesn't matter at all how many you take, but it's mostly like you should start 2 days before you take the flight.
Oh, then you're likely to have. Because I was thinking maybe you should at all times have a little one in your wallet, wrapped up.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It doesn't really. I've done that. I've forgotten and taken it like sort of day of and been okay. But I've also not been okay at times when it's just like if you do it, you're fine, which is crazy. And there are no side effects. There's no anything. It doesn't need
But
take
you
two,
get
take
home
one.
without losing your consciousness, right?
Without losing your life. I mean, it's pretty.
Well, you reliably turn off at 25,000 feet or something?
25,000 feet. You know that's about as high as you can go.
That isn't. Yeah. Well, at 2,500 feet?
No, but at like a plane is pressurized to about 6,000 or 7,000, and so if I'm on a plane ride that's longer than 4 hours or so, by that point there's been enough oxygen that I haven't gotten that I'll like puke and pass out and maybe worse. I don't know.
So it wouldn't be a
gross.
good idea for you to carry with you a little oxygen thing.
No, I mean you can't actually even bring that on a plane. You can't even bring that on a plane.
You can't bring them on.
You can't bring pressure.
But they have one right over your head.
They
right?
do have that stuff.
And is it on?
Well, it's not over. It's not over your head. They have tanks that they have.
Oh,
they have medical
because
stuff.
there used
Yeah,
to be.
that's automatic. That's automatic if the plane is like crashing.
Or landing. They used to sometimes just put them on when you were landing because people kind of reacted to the quick
They
change.
certainly don't do that anymore. They used to drop the oxygen masks for you when you were landing.
Oh, it wasn't a mask. What was it? Well, go ahead.
A little cup. that you put- Anyway,
little tube.
so yeah, you have that moment where you go, "Oh, I'm gonna be dead," or you go, "There's this thing that I really want to do, lie down, but if I do that, I'm for sure gonna die."
So you saved your life.
Well, it's just and it may not be true. It's possible that I could have fallen over there, and then somebody would have been skiing close enough, or people would have looked, and they would have
Well,
had
so
time to
your
find out.
father would have said, "Where's?"
Right, and they
Yeah.
it's possible that they would have been able to find me even in but it's deep snow. I would have been you would have had to essentially roll over me, but they probably could have honestly. But you don't.
didn't want to wait and see.
Well, yeah, it's that part where and it's this toss up. Your brain's like nap and death, or like annoying ski and not death. And you're like, and you have this short little argument with yourself, where you're like, yeah, but come on, you want a nap. Some part of you is like, the whatever the part of your brain is that loves it when you sit down on a couch after walking really far. The part of your brain that makes you go like, yeah, oh yeah, you know, that part like wants to kill you.
Yeah.
That part is like, come on, take a little sleep in the snow. Hey, why don't you lie down on the snow just a little bit? Hey, idiot. Oh, your chest hurts? Take a little lie down. I'll wake you up, you know. And you're like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, maybe not. That's what I think. That's what that was like. What are other people's? Did you ever? Did you have any pets when you were there?
Well, myself, we had a series of dogs from the pound. That my parents did not really like animals in the house. They were city people, and but we always, just like most young children, you read about horses and ponies and dogs and cats, and the horse and pony. Well, the pony, I hoped for every single birthday. I got up and looked out the window to see if the pony was here, but it wasn't. Never. Terrible. I felt really done in by that. But we did adopt when my parents would probably feel that they had really let us down, would let us go to the pound, and we would pick out a dog. And we did pick out a terribly dirty, tiny white poodle. And I was a little turned off by this poodle, but my mother liked it because it was small. And so that we brought it home. We gave it a bath, and the transformation was so stunning that for at least a couple of hours we were all madly in love with this dog. And then it got time to we gave him hot milk to drink, and he just simply bloomed into another dog. And but then there soon became chores that were tied up with this dog.
Yeah, right.
And he was young and not used to the place, and needed to be taken for walks. And pretty soon it was the housekeeper that had to take care of him totally. And pretty soon he didn't seem to be so well or so happy, and so we took him back to the pound. It's terrible. It was one of the failures of our lives. And I think we had another dog, but I don't have a recollection of them. And with that guilt, your mother, my daughter, was brought up with cats, which we theoretically didn't let into the house. They were outdoor cats, we explained.
Was that true?
Yeah, it was true. At least we tried to keep them outdoors. But
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Were they called outdoor cats because they really belonged outdoors?
We called them outdoor cats.
They didn't actually need to be outdoors.
They didn't. Well, that wasn't their preference. They would probably. And
that was your
snowy
preference.
winter, you really would prefer to be indoors. But we let them come into the garage.
That's nice.
All right, but one of my stories, I use this absolute fact that when we moved to Weston, Nana's 2 when we moved there, and 3 when we moved away, so she's very young. We did have 2 cats. We adopted them from the pound. It was called They were called Mary. I'm hogging this. Mary and Never.
Never.
Never. That was because she never had a cat. And Never was really adorable. She was even cuter than Nan, and I think that was maybe what might mean. Nan was adorable, and we always made fuss of her. But this cat was sort of gold and orange colors, and he was just a mutt of a cat. I don't know what you call that. And it looked like Angora, and just beautiful little cat, baby cat. And at some time in his residence at our house, Nanine closed him under the grating. It's wood slats that are very often under porches, and she locked him in there. And she didn't tell anybody, but we kept looking for the cat. Never turned up. She had that on her conscience.
Wait, you really never found the cat?
In truth, I don't remember.
You don't know whether
I'm
mom
sure.
killed the cat?
No, I think, now that I recall, we did have him when we moved to
So she didn't actually kill him?
No, she didn't, but she had him in bad shape under there for a couple of days while we calling Never.
Do you think did she learn something from that? Did she seem shaken?
No, when we'd call Never, she just sort of.
But afterwards, did she have some sort of
I don't
guilt
remember.
bringing that cat?
I don't know. I mean, we said to her, "Did you put him under there?" And I guess she admitted it somehow or other. And then we said, "You can't do that. You kill a cat. He'll die. You won't have him at all." And I don't really. No, I don't know what she learned from him. We took those cats back down to Westport when we moved to Westport, and I don't know why, but after a while we just didn't have any Mary Never. I don't remember when we unloaded them. I mean, maybe we
unloaded.
Well, maybe we went away for the summer or something, and we gave them to somebody. I like to think we did that rather than took them back to the pound.
That's definitely one way to skin a cat. You leave it under your porch for long enough.
Yeah, right.
Until it just comes right off.
Yeah, I really use that very effectively in a story.
What, cat skinning?
The thing of the child leaving the cat.
What child?
Well, it's in a short story that I have.
That has not unpublished.
And that actually, it's a short story, but I also used it. Maybe I didn't. Because in my mind, it's Dorothy. It's one of the Dorothy things where she
conflated with her ex-roommate.
Yeah, but I'm not.
What's she supposed to be like? What is that supposed to indicate about her? What is that? What is?
Just a sort of a disconnect from the effects of what she does.
What what was her response?
Oh, I wouldn't. No, you're asking what Dorothy thought.
What did Dorothy? Yeah, did Dorothy?
I don't think she ever saw my work. I'll tell you the truth.
No. What did Dorothy, the character?
In the story?
Well,
the story is that goes through her through when she was very young, like that, to the boarding school time, and where, and this is entirely fictional, of her friend and she, who would often wander off from the group in their daily walk, and they would go sort of into the meadow and to where there was a graveyard, and they would sit around, wait for the walkers to come back and then join up. And this girl with her was a sulky also type, and they encountered a child who was associated with the president of the. Now, see, I mean, I'm not telling this for this, but it's really, this is a grown-up story about this child's development, and what happens is, in fact, they run into a defective son of the president at this graveyard. He's like mongoloid type, you know, and he just sits there in where two gravestones have come across each other. You're just listening for the story. He just sits there and smiles and does stuff, you know, like this. And he had some sticks he was arranging, and this other girl, not Grace, Patsy or something, comes over and she says, Grace, why are you talking to this dummy? The dummy is not deaf. And he takes up his stick and he gives Patsy such a whack that she's pushed over, and she falls directly into an empty grave. And of course it never happened. Then he pushes a gravestone over on it, and then for days there. Now Grace is observing all this. But when she goes back alone, she just says that she misplaced Patsy, you know, somewhere in the wood, but she doesn't know where. And it's weeks looking for Patsy, and I don't know. I don't think we tell exactly how they happened to find her. But I mean, everything was turned out. The police, everything, and. Then, I'm telling you this whole thing to show you how I use this. When I opened this story, Grace is just a little girl or something like that, or else it had flashed back to a point where she was a little girl and she walked in her sleep, and at that point she had put the cat under the porch. So we don't mention that again until the very end, when after this occurrence of pushing the boy, watching there and never reporting it, she never reported when they were looking for Patsy where Patsy was or anything. She and the boy who had done this, he was suddenly disappeared. They pretty well were sure he was, you know, he was the trouble, and but. When Patsy tried to sleep, she kept dreaming about closing the cat under the porch.
So she was okay? Patsy was she lived?
Patsy was okay if she was ever okay.
She lived?
Not Patsy. Oh, I'm so sorry. Grace.
Oh, Grace.
Grace.
So Grace saw...
Yes, did I say Patsy?
What it was like to do that to a person.
And Patsy was taken out of school by her father, who thought the school was stank, which it did.
But I thought she was killed.
No. Oh, yes, that's right. That's right. That story. That's right. She lives. She's dead in that story. God. And that didn't happen. But I read it so many times, and I really think, actually, I don't know whether you'd like the story, but I like the story, and I like the way, and the people that I've read it to, like in my story group, they like the way that thing of hiding somebody, you know, as they hid Patsy and as they hid the cat. I don't know. I felt it was logical, you know, and it reads well with the rhythm of that ending, which ends with, but for some reason every night she tried to go to sleep, she dreamed of that. And that came from Nanny putting the cat under So that's, you see, I mean, I can trace a lot of my ideas, and they go so far, and I use them not
Well, yeah, it's like the
where you'd
kernel. It's the
expect to.
kernel. It's the seed of something that grows into somewhere else. But
Yeah.
we draw those seeds from our whatever our deepest experiences are, and that's your, it's your daughter. That's was a lot of your time, so it makes sense you'd have.
Right. And it didn't, it didn't take a lot of devising or anything, and I didn't plan it from the beginning that it would end that, on the
No, if you're
node or anything.
if you're on the lookout for stories,
Yeah.
real life has got tons of good ones.
Real life is
Real life.
is that's an internet?
No, real life, like the thing we're doing now.
Oh, I see. I'm so sorry. I forgot the name of it. Real life. I could get that on my computer?
No, like real life, like what, like we're
Oh, just like we're talking.
like life.
Oh, you mean
That's
not the
now.
name of thing?
Not the name of anything.
That must be very annoying.
No,
Yes, in real life. Now, what was your statement?
real life. There are plenty of, if you just are attuned to real life as if it were fiction or drama, it's full of all those stories
Yes, it is.
and interesting things because, well, hell,
And there, there is so much interesting in almost the dullest
Sure.
of stuff.
The dullest, the most boring possible things, I think, can be fascinating in a way, and obviously the most interesting. It's the middle. I'm always worried about the middle.
Oh yeah, you ignore the middle. It doesn't count. They don't count. They don't count.
Who's they?
The middle stuff. It's the things that are at the lowest or the top that get noticed, either because they're at the top or because they're at the bottom. Or
Maybe noticing is all we do with that. Noticing is just
is
to
that
notice.
hot on your head? Your body is in the sun now, and you could care. That hat was to smooth your hair down.
It was, I don't know, to keep the thoughts in, I think.
But think of the ones that might get caught in the knitting.
Well, it's a very fine thread. I mean, they would have to be very small things to slip out.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, do you feel that when you put your hand in there, you're holding a bunch of ideas?
They're really hard to grab. It's like trying to grab tadpoles.
I remember tadpoles. Yeah. Don't they have tadpoles anymore?
I think as long as they have frogs, as soon as they run out of tadpoles, we'll run out of frogs pretty quick. That was the plot of Children of Men, I think.
Children?
That was the plot of Children of Men. It's this movie
as soon
where
as you
nobody
run
can get nobody in the human race can get pregnant anymore. So they know that the human race is about to end as soon as the last people die.
Yeah.
And the youngest person on Earth is like this celebrity, like this is the youngest, and then someone gets pregnant. But it's because
How does that happen?
just somehow it happens.
What
But
is it called? Children of Men?
yeah,
Is that a book by?
it may be a book. I know it is a
Is
movie.
it a movie?
Yeah.
Well, let's write it down on something so I can get it.
Okay. But what do you think that would be like if all of the whole human race knows they're like, well, that's it. And everything is like pretty crazy. Everything's like really quite dangerous because everybody knows if everybody's going to be dead soon, there pretty much are no rules. Even though it doesn't really change other than there not being children, how, what your life would unfold like.
Well, and then is there a last person alive?
Then someone becomes pregnant, but it's a supercharged thing because it's very political. Who gets control of this is this massive
Well,
symbol.
where does who gives birth?
It's just this woman who gets pregnant.
Well, I'm obviously, but was she a special character?
Well, she becomes a character. She's very important, but she was nobody
But she
in particular.
wasn't in it before. I mean, we didn't know of her before,
No.
but just suddenly this.
Here's a woman that's pregnant. This is the pregnant. People hear of like the pregnant woman, and then everybody springs into action.
So, what happens?
Well, yeah, I think you want to watch this, so I'll let you find out.
All right, I really would. Children of Men.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this great list inside that I made when the Oscar awards were up, that things that I wanted to
Sure.
see, and then I can't find
There's
it.
quite a bit of action. It's very intense. There's a lot of running and fleeing and
Oh yeah,
anyway.
I might not like it, but it sounds terribly interesting.
Well, isn't that all we can hope for life?
Not like it, but it's interesting. No, I think I'd rather like it.
Well, you said your hopes pretty high.
Yeah.
Do you have any other like near?
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Where is it going?
Into
It
the
used to be blue and white.
Near death stories or avoiding death stories or
Oh.
or birth stories
Oh,
that
I
are like
see.
that. Do you have any more stories that like what you can think of other times
Death,
you thought of like
death.
and you're here and they're older, a lot of older people. You talk to other older people. Does that ever come up where it's like hey, like do you make like when you're I don't know, when you're like just out of school and you're if you're just out of school and you're like living on not so much and your friends aren't also, and you make jokes that's like oh well, I can't do that because we're so poor, and you make jokes about this thing that just doesn't really feel that bad, even though from the outside it doesn't seem so great, and just because you can, and you know that other people are in the same situation, like with respect to the same not so desirable quality.
I wouldn't really know what you've asked for.
So imagine if you're just out of school and you're not making very much money, and your friends aren't either, and you're all like kind of living on budgets, and you make fun of each other for being poor, and you make fun of each other for not being able to afford stuff, and it's not so bad because you're all in the same sort of place, and it's sort of expected based on where you are.
I've never been in a situation. If you're asking me to tell a story about,
But when you're older and everybody else is older, do people make jokes about being like, well, like hope you're not dead soon?
oh, I see.
Do people make jokes that are like that in the age?
But I don't hang around very much with older people. As I'm sort of a little bit of a hermit, I'm a lot of a hermit. I only see people in passing, and occasionally with a very close friend, I would have dinner, and I would imagine that unless people were talking, I'm only guessing, but I would imagine if people were only would only be talking to a close friend about death. I mean, if they're really old and they know somebody in the room's going to be dead by morning, they may not think it's so funny.
You think because it's so real?
Yeah.
You don't, but you. What would happen if somebody came up to you and made jokes about? I mean, June wasn't really kidding, but what if somebody made jokes? What if somebody made jokes with you about, like, if somebody mentioned,
death? Well, I wouldn't notice. I mean,
if somebody talked about like, oh hey, I hear they just scheduled the 2024 Olympics. And somebody goes, can't wait to watch that. And then
I
somebody
won't
looks
be alive for this.
right, or somebody like looks at you and they go like, well, I bet you won't have to worry about that, or whatever,
Yeah, well, that would just be bad manners anywhere.
It would just be bad manners because it's not really much of a joke.
No, but I do find that I can, like, if I'm filling out or renewing a subscription to a magazine or something, I buy a year. I don't buy 2 years for a few dollars less.
And that's a real deliberate choice because you're like,
Yeah, absolutely. I've done that a couple of times within the last few months.
it's a commitment thing.
Yeah.
Is it a commitment thing, or is it to save money?
Well, it's to save money. Why should I give them $38 for 2 years when I can pay $23 for 1 year? And so I don't know what numbers I said. So, so I don't save whatever. I think if you could pull that a little bit. It would be good to close it a little bit. Maybe we should put some, I don't know, are we getting air conditioning? And that's better, thank you. So,
Do you do that when you send in the subscription again? Do you feel kind of defiant? Do you feel like you didn't think I was coming back, did you?
No, no, I didn't think of that. No, but I.
What do you feel when you're feeling when you're checking you check the box? How do you feel when you're sending that thing back in?
When I what?
How do you feel when you send the thing back in? Are you saying like?
I feel fine. I mean, that's what I wanted to do. I'm making shorter term commitments. That seems sensible to me.
It's just a very quick financial calculation, and that's it.
That's all. Very quick. I said it's silly to make plans for 2 years from now.
Well, it's like if you go to the supermarket and you see like the double sized pasta, and you're like, it's just not worth it. I don't want. I'm not going to use that much pasta.
No, that's exactly. Exactly. Not going to use that.
Or probably not. And if I am, I'm willing to bite the bullet.
Let them get some fresh.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's true. You get your fresh magazine subscriptions. You don't want because if you order 2 years, then next year they're actually a year old.
That's right.
You get stale issues.
Right.
Nobody wants that. Well, what are other stories we can think of? Let's do the thing. I'll just say words, and you tell me. Well, you just stop me if anything seems like a story.
Just let me find out what time it is.
It is 4:30.
4:30?
Yeah.
I have to stop because I have to put out money for her.
You okay?
And you can be effusive in your thanks for all the help, you know.
Paying the housekeeper, paying the caretaker to do the caretaker stuff that she does most of the time.
permanently, I would give you
I gotcha.
it on a different account.
I don't want to go. I'd rather do this stuff, but I feel like I
Are
have.
they gonna stay?
But I feel like I have. I feel like I have to. You know, it's like I can't.
We got here to that space before. You think I would be crazy enough to let you stay? You're welcome as the flowers in May.
Would it be crazy enough to do what?
Just help you make your decision.
No, I know that. I know.
But if you think you'd like to stay,
No, the thing is, I would like to stay. I know that it's
but you
going to be
only
harder
have
for
two
me.
pair of pants.
No. I would like to stay. I just know that it'll be harder, and I feel I don't have to. I could
But
just
you
not.
might like to.
I might like to, but it's more that I feel like I should, and I feel like I'm not doing any of the things that I said I was going to do out here. Like none of them. I'm not doing
What would you
project. Yeah, this, but this I didn't even think of until.
But I may slow you down a little. You know, I am a little old lady.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have a lot to work with, but I'm also not sure that we've done all of the things. So that's why I want to get the little pieces that could flesh stuff out.
Would you like to stay? You just have to say so.
I know it's not that. I really feel like I have to do more things because I can't stave off that feeling of like I'm really failing.
So what is our question on the
So I would go
table
back.
at the moment?
Nothing. It's just that I think that today I just want to get like these.
Well, I'm
we have so
coming
much.
straight
We have
back.
so much material.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely stuff missing, even like content wise, whatever. But I just want to be able to flesh something out. I'd want all the little pieces, like all the silly stuff, anything that I was going to insert.
Well, so if you
We'll
feel
record
you
some more of
don't
those
have it
inserts.
there,
We'll record some more silly shit that could go
Now?
in anywhere. Yeah.
but this is with you staying or not staying.
No, with me leaving, and we'll do this for a little longer. I'll go surfing. I'll come back. We'll have dinner. Maybe we'll do a little more, and then I'll have to go.
I don't want you driving. First, no more pot if you're going to be
Sure.
driving home. Hello, I'm just making it your way.